So Laura Ingraham interviewed President Trump, and it was a really great example of how the institutions have a way of circumscribing the men, how the regime maintains control. Because our countries are big and insanely complex things that when you start pulling levers, when you start making motions, there are second, third, fourth, fifth order consequences that are an absolute nightmare to deal with and have ramifications that go far beyond what your intentions were. And so this circumscribes what someone like Trump can actually do. And so Trump finds himself in a bit of a bind. He's now got to say, yeah, actually, a lot of the things we were complaining about and that we don't want, I've got to be for them because there are things that rely on those things. And I don't want to lose some of the things that otherwise would be affected by the choices that we'd make. So we'll watch some of this and talk about it because it's it's funny, actually, watching Trump be put in this position. Because really, someone who was a lot more hardline than Trump would just say, yeah, I want those consequences. I'm totally for it. I think that actually the sacrifice is worth making and I'm willing to make it. But Trump, for all his bluster, has never been a radical. Trump is actually not a hardline right-winger, and he never has been.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States. We have about 350,000 Chinese. One point during COVID, you were going to, push to, get them out, but that was pulled back. You've said as many as 600,000 Chinese students could come to the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school and there are places not for them, and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money?
Sure. You can see it on Trump's face here. He knows he's in a tough position, right? Because he knows his base doesn't want the country and the universities flooded with foreign students. He knows that this is bad. But, as he's going to explain in a second, this is money. A lot of money comes from this.
These universities are getting rich off Chinese money.
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have, China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
I love Laura Ingraham here. So what? Like, hang on. The universities have been the problem. Like, going all the way back to like Nixon, the universities are the enemy. Like these institutions have been producing the radical communists who have been doing everything they can. I mean, the reason that Mamdani and the Democratic Socialists are doing anything at the moment is because these are downstream effects of radicalization in colleges. Like, and not even say, you bring 600,000 people in, they're going to be given the vote. They are going to vote for their own ethnic and outsider interests instead of insider interests. They are going to have an effect. And that's not to say the other things that Chinese students and Chinese immigrants to America have been convicted of doing, which Laura does bring up in a second. Like, there are other reasons not to do this. And actually bringing the universities to heel would actually be a powerful maneuver. Why not do it?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
Are they fans,
you would have the
fans of the United States?
Yeah.
Are they fans of the Trump administration? Do they vote Republican?
But you would have, as you know, historically, black colleges and universities would all be out of business. You would have a system of colleges.
That's interesting, isn't it? If we don't have Chinese students propping up the historically black colleges, universities, they'll go out of business. Well, that's interesting because, I mean, if they're full of Chinese people, in what way are they black universities? I mean, it seems that the time has passed for them. For whatever reason, black people aren't using them to go to university. I don't know whether the demographics they've shifted or what. I don't know what the situation is there. But why why prop it up as essentially a museum piece? Like, by replacing the population of blacks and replace them with Chinese. Like, these things, if they're going to go out of business, then they go out of business. They're universities. They're not, like, they're not ancient Roman ruins or something.
And universities would
So
go
we're
down the
dependent on
tubes.
China to keep
No,
our
not
university
China,
system
but
going?
I think it's good to have.
I mean, that's a great point from Laura Ingraham, and it's interesting how she's pushing back so aggressively on this, because, yeah, that's basically what he's saying, isn't it? And it's not just our university system, it's certain universities.
I actually think it's good to have outside countries. Look, I want to be able to get along with the world.
They're not the French. They're the Chinese. They spy on us. They steal our intellectual property.
What, do you think the French are better?
Yeah, I would say the French are better than that. French students aren't constantly being arrested and charged and convicted and then expelled from America because they keep stealing secrets and funneling them back to China. But Chinese students, Chinese employees in various areas, they do. Because China actually does keep quite a tight rein on the Chinese people outside. I mean, you remember the Chinese police stations that sprung up in Canada. They are very concerned about this sort of thing, and they are playing the long game. They are playing a long game of espionage, and they are conscripting their own people into it. So yeah, I mean, I do think that France is better than that, actually. And so this is not only a security concern, but it also shows that he's looking at the problem systemically, which is exactly how the liberals found themselves in this position. They're like, oh, right, well, we just need people then. We can keep historically black universities open because of Chinese people. It's like, okay, I'm just saying that maybe that's not the right answer.
Yeah.
Really? I'll tell you, I'm not
Good for Laura.
so sure. We've had a lot of problems with the French where we get taxed very unfairly on our...
Don't get me wrong, there are loads of problems with the French, but international espionage using student infiltrators doesn't seem to be one of those things. And if it is, feel free to correct me in the comments.
Technology with, they put 25% taxes on American products. Look, assuming everyone treats us badly, because that's the way I am, but we take in trillions of dollars from students. The students pay more than double when they come in from most foreign countries.
So there we go. It makes a lot of money. But the problem is, these universities are staffed... Like, if the universities were reliably red or something, and they would be like, yep, we basically have an ideological agenda in us that churns out Republicans, I would understand. I wouldn't be in favour of it, but I'd be like, well, I mean, at least the product is producing pro-America students that then go back to China, right? There is a reason, historically, that if you wanted an alliance with someone, or to make sure of good behaviour, you would take what they called hostages. Now, these aren't actual hostages as we understand the modern term. What they are is you would take some 10-year-olds or something from a foreign country, from a foreign ruler, and you would raise them. And so you would teach them how to read and to write, the language. You would teach them how to fight, how military affairs worked, and it would be done in order to make them well disposed to you. The British did this with the aristocracies in India. You raise them in your system, and that makes them familiar with and well disposed to your system. And that would be fine if that's what American universities were doing. Like, I would understand it if that's what American universities were doing. But they're not doing that. They're doing the exact opposite of that. They're teaching them grievance studies and to hate white people and to hate America itself, and then send them back to China. Just be like, right, yeah, so now that you really hate the United States, good luck with your future in China. I'm sure in a generation or two, this won't reap bitter harvests. Like, what are we doing? It's like, yeah, well, they do pay money. It's like, yeah, okay, they might, but maybe the historically black colleges need to survive or fail on their own merits, and actually allowing American universities to radicalize foreign students is not wise.
I want to see our school system thrive, but at the same time, I know you and I disagree.
Yeah.
We're never going to agree on
No.
it, but that's okay. And it's not that I want them, but I view it as a business. We have millions and millions of people. Also, I want to get along with countries if possible. People are...
So again, views this as a business. This is just economical, right? And this has been the problem with almost everything that's happened to us so far. So Trump is not preaching anything radically different. I think that's completely the status quo. And so he has to find a justification for it. And as he says, well, I want good relations with these people. And again, the assumption is that they're going to come away from America with a good opinion of America. But if they come away with a terrible opinion of America because of what the universities are teaching them, which they might, and I'm sure many of them are, then has that succeeded?
Shocked. Remember, Hillary Clinton said, we'll be in a war. I stopped 8 wars in the last 9 months. I don't want to be in wars. If I am in a war, we're going to win the thing fast, and it'll be violent. But you know what? I don't want to be in wars. But one thing, you don't want to cut half of the people, half of the students from all over the world that are coming into our country, destroy our entire university and college system. I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't lose any.
And don't forget, MAGA.
Love Laura's responses here. I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. Yeah, me either. Me either. I mean, there would be. It would be rough for a lot of them, but it might be justified for a lot of them too. I'm with Laura here. I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. And you can see that Trump is, what he is doing is governing for everyone in the United States. Laura's approaching it with a particular right-wing angle, which is fine, which I agree with, obviously. But Trump is trying to govern for everyone here, and that means he has to make sacrifices that go against what his base wants. Now, I'm not saying that's good, obviously. What I'm saying is it's kind of inevitable that this would be the case because, like I said, the system is horrifically complicated and it makes demands on people, whether they like it or not. Now, like I said, did I say this? I totally disagree with Trump here. I totally disagree with Trump. I'm 100% with Laura on this. I think that actually, if these universities can only sustain themselves with foreign students, then they deserve to go, actually. I don't think that is going to be the case, actually, though. I think they'll just downsize. Some of them will go, obviously. I'm sure a lot of them would just reconfigure themselves and actually start pitching themselves more to American students, trying to get Americans to go to their own universities. But we've got the same sort of problem in Britain, by the way. Foreign students pay twice as much as a native student, and therefore the university is entirely encouraged to become financially dependent on foreign students. Which, again, why are we allowing this to happen? Well, it makes money. It's a business. And so, regardless of the actual the issues that Laura rightly brings up, I don't think that's going to change. And so at the end here, he addresses whether this is MAGA or not, and this is how he pitches it.
University and college system. I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't lose any.
And don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else, and MAGA wants to see our country thrive.
Right. So that is true, obviously. MAGA does want to see America thrive. But MAGA is also a distinctly nativist movement. And this is the issue that is the crux of the disagreement that they're having. It doesn't seem very nativist to bring in 600,000 students from a rival power that has a history of espionage against you. Right? This is not really America first. And from the zoomed out big picture, oh well, look, lots of money is flowing to America, lots of people are coming to America, therefore this is America thriving. And in one way, yes, but you have to become granular and look at actually who is thriving. And when you see that actually it's not the American people thriving, you have to realize, I don't think that is MAGA, actually.